turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher.
And welcome back. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is back in session. Here for another guest speaker episode at AOA Studios. If you're an artist, podcaster, or content creator of any kind, make sure to check us out at aoastudios.org to book your session or service today. And man, I am joined today by a very special guest. Now, I say that often, right? They're all special. You guys are all special. But this one's really, really special for a couple of reasons. First of all, we've never had a Vermont artist on the show before, since we're Massachusetts-based. Mm-hmm. By the way, any of y'all that think that Beverly's a long drive, this man drove 3 hours to be here. So
come on, bro.
If he can do it, you can do it.
It's light work. It's light work.
Which is unreal. I'm so just honored that you felt like you wanted to take a 3-hour drive here.
For sure. I'm a fan of the show. So.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So he's not only from Vermont, but I've been listening to you and your collective for quite a long time, right? Really at the inception of this podcast, which we'll get into a little bit. So to have you on right now is completely surreal for me, and I just appreciate it a ton as being just a fan of your guys' music for as long as I have. And people, if you're a Massachusetts fan of music or whatever and you don't recognize this man, he is one of the frontmen, lead singers of 99 Neighbors. Maari joins the show. And bro, how are you doing?
I'm amazing. Yeah,
I'm amazing too. It's great to have you.
Great.
Bro.
I'm just hyped to get out of the car. Yeah, it's very good.
How was the drive down? I know
good.
it was torrential downpour for a little bit.
Yeah, it was just rainy, but it was good. I rented an electric car just because I thought it'd be fun. Bad idea if you're gonna do that. It was fun. Just charging was a bit of a bitch, but
yeah, no,
we made it.
I got the text from you. You were like, "Bro," I'm like, "We might be a little late."
I was so stressed.
We're stopped to charge the car. I'm like, "Don't worry about it. You're good."
So take your stressful. I was like, while we were charging, I was like, "Why don't we just get a gas?" Like it's so dumb. Yeah, but no, I'm ecstatic, man. I'm excited to be here.
So no, seriously, thank you for making the trip. It was nothing but a pleasure to have you. So when we do these interviews, we usually start with the objective. So we get to know a little bit about you and your background. That's the first segment of the show. And so in my research, knowing of what I did of you, I know you grew up playing in jazz bands, and then you started writing raps in 6th and 7th grade. But I know it really didn't get super serious for you until you and Hank got an apartment in Vermont, right? In Burlington, was it?
Yeah, in Burlington, downtown.
And that kind of feels like is what birthed 99 Neighbors in a way. Yeah. So, and to obviously be the collective that you guys, became. So, Indeed. Which is super cool. So my question about sort of that space in general was what do you think it was about that space that was able to cultivate and that experience and make it so collaborative to create art and music? What was it about what you guys created there that in turn sort of wanted people to flock towards it?
That's such a good question. We were young, essentially. I was 18. I think I just turned 18, and Hank was 18. We were super young. Got our first apartment, and at that point, I had put out the South Cove EP the summer before, the first time working with Sam, but my first solo EP. And Hank and I had been making music since high school together, and then once we all moved in, it was just we set up the booth in the corner, and the whole living room was just a studio with a TV, and then our bedrooms. We woke up every day and made music, and then through and kind of how the whole 99 thing started was so there used to be 22 of us. There was
Crazy.
It was Odd Future, it was huge.
Yeah.
And we were just meeting people all the time at whether it was parties or it was at the skate park or wherever we were playing basketball, and we just meet people and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm a painter," whatever, and they'd be making amazing art. They're like, "Oh, I'm a graphic designer. I'm a clothing designer. I'm a whatever." And we just had this open door policy where we were anyone is allowed at our crib. We had some characters in our crib,
I believe it.
But anyone was allowed as long as you were doing something productive with your life or on some sort of path. You know what I mean? There'd be times where I'm recording in the corner and my boy Speak is has a canvas on our floor, just he's an incredible artist, just painting. And then my boy Will's in the corner, screen printing T-shirts, and Hank's in his room writing. And it was just a madhouse, and it was really amazing. And then that's how we met so many great people. And then we just wanted to take it to the moon and like started having big meetings at like these like office spaces and stuff, like renting out office spaces and like pulling up whiteboards and being like, all right, this summer we're gonna like take over. And
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. If you're serious about it, right?
Straight up.
If you get to that point, which clearly you guys were at that point.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but continue.
No, yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, we were
yeah.
ready to like take because it was fun doing the little like, you know, the bar show and then like whatever. We were sneaking into bars just to do shows. Like we had fakes just to do shows, which was like sick. Gangster. Yeah,
good for you guys.
So we were doing that, and then yeah, we just wanted to take it up to another level and like started like really meeting with like, you know, promoters and just the important people around town and like really making shit happen. Yeah.
Oh,
it was a crazy time, but yeah, we were just young. It was just fun, and you had so much energy.
Yeah, there was clearly a passion there, right?
So
and there
much,
was a need to create that space, because I know we were talking a little off air. We were taking a tour of the space here, and you were like, "Man, there's nothing like this in Burlington," which is humbling. I'm glad you felt that way.
Yeah, this space is crazy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this building is nuts. Yeah,
it is pretty cool. We're very blessed. I'm very, very lucky about all that. But yeah, it's cool to hear like someone like you'd be like, "Oh, you know, it's just, you know, all we had was our bedroom. All we had was the living room. All we had was our apartment, right?"
Yeah, just the apartment.
You kind of make do with what you have, and if there's a passion there, then you gotta just pursue it.
Just flip the switch.
Yeah. Did you find it difficult to almost separate that, like with having a space that's so creative and collaborative?
Yeah, church and state.
Yeah. Did you struggle with that early on?
I still do.
Yeah.
It was. Then not so much, because again, like we had nothing to lose. Like we were like nobody's like just busting tables and like doing valet and stuff, and so we were like,
it's different now.
Obviously. Yeah, it's different, and like most things were like going up on like sorry, Juju keeps calling me. Shout out Juju if you're watching. Stop calling me. Yeah, it was like, you know, we had nothing to lose. We were just ready to do the thing. But nowadays, like once we signed and it got like really, really real, it was just tough. Like, and then in the pandemic, and I'm sure we'll touch on all that. But yeah, it just became a lot harder to like wake up and just separate church and state with like, well, this is my living room, and like I don't feel like making music, but it's also the studio, or like, it can get really confusing.
Right, because I can imagine that can be difficult, right? Because like I don't live here, obviously, like my apartment's 20, 25 minutes away, but so that's what I love about it, being able to come down here and just focus on whatever I'm creating or, you know, dealing with client, you know, work or whatever it is, and then I can kind of go home and separate that a little bit. So that's why I was kind of curious how you managed that early on. But.
Yeah, it's just it's weird.
Yeah.
It's
got to be. I feel
it's weird because like there is a certain battery that gets put in your back when you're like walking into it. You're leaving your home and going to the studio, and like walking into the studio, and you're like, all right, I'm here to work, rather than like, oh, I can kind of do whatever I want, and then that's how like procrastination can happen. And
100%. But it probably helped that you had so many people that were kind of focused on one endeavor, which is really unique, and like it doesn't happen super often. And you also see that it's hard to sustain, which we'll get into, I'm sure at some point too. But I'm curious for 99 Neighbors in terms of the actual roster that ended up being. So you said it was around 22 people, like off and on, that were creating,
like a whole family.
That's which is so cool. And I'm glad I mentioned that it was not just music being made. There was plenty of different art styles and stuff like that.
We were making skate edits, and because I skate, Hank skates. A bunch of the homies skate, and we were just making like skate edits and putting our music to them, and having them wear our merch. Like we were all wearing our own merch and making skate edits. We were snapping.
No, that's dope.
It's a good time.
I love it. But so the initial roster that became 99 Neighbors. So how did it sort of become where those was about 7 at the time, right? It was you. I'm trying to get everybody right. So you, Juju, Samba, Con Swank, Nadia. Who am I forgetting?
Jared, Cal. Hank.
So 8.
So, me, Hank, Juju, Samba, Jared, Nadia, Swank, Cal. Yeah, it was 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And Shane.
Oh, okay. So 9.
Shane. Yeah.
So when it became that sort of not like, was that a gradual process, or did y'all decide that was going to be like that core? Like, how did that sort of come to be?
The core kind of just came about because it was like, those were the people that were showing up 24/7. Like when it was 22 people, like it's just a lot of heads to try and like herd together. And 100%. Like when we were having meetings and stuff, you know, people are late or like whatever it was. But then you also like, we were also super young. There were some kids that were like about to go to college that were like some of the graphic designers or whatever. And they like people just kind of found life on their own ways, and then we were just like so hell-bent on like this thing, and then that 9 was just the ones that were like in the studio from 2 a.m. to 2 a.m. like 24/7 and like just making things happen. Yeah, so it just kind of found itself being that way. It was just like the most dedicated ones to doing the music. Yeah.
So that's really cool. And then Mike, I'm curious as well about the Odd Future and Brockhampton comparisons, right? Because I'm sure you guys have heard that many times.
Sure.
I'm sure it's funny. I got a Brockhampton vinyl on my wall here somewhere. I'm a huge Brockhampton fan. Obviously Tyler, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe that makes,
Brockhampton.
of course, both of them. Yeah, Odd Future. I feel like
shout out to Odd Future for sure.
And I think that's part of the reason why early on I was so infatuated with you guys. It's because it felt like, oh, okay, there's like this collective that's doing really unique music that's a little bit off kilter and sort of different than what I would normally hear, and it comes from New England, so I felt like a little bit of maybe more ownership
for sure,
more so than the other two.
Still
it's like, that's kind of my back. You're right. It's still kind of the backyard, if you will.
100%.
But how do you feel about having those comparisons? Like, is there you guys honored for that, to have that comparison consistently, or is there something like very distinct that you guys think you do like that's a little bit different than those entities that you want that separation? I'm kind of curious where you stand on that sort of scale.
I mean, it's amazing to be mentioned in light of both. Like they're both incredible. It was an interesting journey, because when we started off again, we were like 22 people. We wanted to be like Odd Future was like the goal. Like Odd Future and Beast Coast, like
Beast Coast,
like growing up on Pro Era and
That's
Save
right,
Money
Pro Era.
too. Like Save Money, Beast Coast.
ASAP Mob would be another one.
Yeah,
too,
ASAP
right?
Mob, Pro Era, Pro Era, Odd Future, Save Money, ASAP Mob. Again, because like we're on the east side. It's like like Odd Future was the only like LA ones that I was really rocking with. And then yes, we started as the collective, and as once we like made television, Chase is on that album. Shout out my boy Chase Murphy. He's on that album. Philosophy's on that album. Like it was a bunch of just like, that was real, just like friends getting together and making some songs. And we didn't expect it to just do what it did. And then so we kind of stayed. We kind of like accidentally became a boy band, became a group. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so there wasn't like this conscious thing of like,
No,
okay,
not at all.
Odd Future, Brockhampton, this is the blueprint, this is what we have to sort of like
Not
do.
because we were already dropping, like South Cove was already out. We already had this thing, and then all the saturations came out. And I was like, oh, that was amazing to be like, oh, you can do that too. That's fucking sick. Like, it is possible. But yeah, we were like wanted to make our own albums on the sides and like do what we're doing now. We're back to just a collective running 99 records and like doing our own things. But yeah, we just kind of found ourselves as a boy band. Yeah, once we like signed, they're like, this is the easiest way to package this. Let's do this. And it was like, so there's ups and downs in that, but we took the strengths from both. Yeah.
Gotcha. Were there any particular ways in which that they influenced you guys, like even specifically, whether it be, from a structure, like album structure or marketing? Like, was there anything that you guys took from any of those collectives that you mentioned that you felt like you guys, I don't want to say wanted to copy, but you felt influenced by and wanted to sort of make your own from a 99 perspective? Yeah,
I think the main, like the correlating point would be like just ironically like saturation, like just saturating the market, just like always having something out, always dropping, always putting up this video, doing blah, 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 just like always being outside essentially. Odd Future just was like, that was so crack because all of them individually are like some of the greatest artists to like exist in our generation. Like it's so crazy.
Especially Tyler and his progression.
Tyler, Frank, Earl,
Frank,
like Sid, Steve Lacy, Casey Veggies, like everyone is incredible. Damo.
So many people forget about Casey Veggies too. Yeah.
Haji's back. He's now Jerry.
Is he? Is he?
Yeah, he's dropping incredible music. Yeah, it's sick. But anyways, yeah, it was the musicality of like Odd Future like was so amazing. Just like they had bridges on like mixtapes, like that was so sick. And just their like rawness, just their shows are like nothing anyone ever seen. And like the Loiter Squad stuff, and they were like really breaking out outside of just music. So that was super inspiring. And so like we wanted to make TV shows, and we're still, me and Samba still working on some films, and we're still working on some TV shows and stuff. So like. Still gonna do that. And then Brockhampton just showed that like you can also do it in this like group aspect and like have everybody on one song and go to the fucking moon and make really ill shit. So yeah, nothing like too specific. It was just like, that's sick. Let's It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
You've made it felt like it made possible for you guys.
Yeah.
Television you had mentioned earlier, which
Shout
is my introduction to you guys. And we either reviewed it on the show, or I know when we did like our 2018 year in review music, like it totally landed on like a list, like our favorite music from 2018. So it's somewhere in there. No, of course. Yeah. And so it's just so cool to have you sitting here after like, I've been listening to that album for like what feels like 8 years now.
Bless your heart.
Or close to it now. No, six. My math's off. It was 2018, right, when you guys dropped that?
Top of 2019.
2019. Okay,
yeah.
makes
My
sense.
Math isn't good.
Yeah,
So.
mine's not great either. English teacher. Math. No, that's not my strong suit.
English guy.
So that was really felt like the album that opened the doors for you guys, right?
Yeah, that was
the
kicked
one.
down the doors. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, kick down. Even better way to put it. I'm curious, in what ways does that album reflect sort of all of your experiences growing up in Burlington, Vermont as a whole, and then looking back on it? Like, did you anticipate the album circulating in the way that it did, given the fact that states like Vermont typically get extremely little national coverage?
Yeah.
And what did it mean to you then for it to kind of do what it did, and then maybe looking back on it now? So I know it's kind of a loaded question, but
No, that's first of all, no. I don't think any of us thought it would do what it did. Like, at the time we were making it, we were all just playing like local shows, just kind of like doing the local thing, and like making really cool music. Like, I just dropped this album Collision. Hank had just dropped Problem Child. Like, we were doing a bunch of stuff, but we literally just got together and was like, let's just make an album. We made it in 2 months. It was just like in a bedroom, and then literally put it out, like just uploaded DistroKid, put it out on New Year's, and then next thing we knew it was like to the moon, and we had no idea. We really did not expect that at all. And I think the most important thing about that too was, it was like we were the very first like hip hop group to get any sort of like global recognition out of Vermont.
Definitely.
Even like countrywide recognition for real. There was like VT Union back in the day, but that was like in the like 90s, early 2000s. But we were the first ones like on DSPs play. I mean, it was just a different era. But so that was like amazing to accomplish that. But no one really had any clue what it was about to do. And next thing you know, like labels are calling. Champion got put in the Kardashians like that week, like the next week.
Oh no shit, I didn't know that. It was
during the episode where Ye shows Kim the Donda house for the first time, it's Champion playing in the back.
No shit.
And that happened like the week after, and we were like, what? Yeah, it blew up on Reddit. And so randomly as hell.
Wow.
Yeah. So no, nobody really expected that. It was just so strange. And I'm sorry, I forgot about the second.
No,
I was the B side of your question as well.
B side of my question. That's good. No, I was thinking about just in what ways did you like channel where you guys are from? Vermont being like Burlington, Vermont specifically, like being embedded in that album in whatever ways, right? Like maybe it was ways in which you guys grew up, or maybe certain. I don't know, anything about like sort of your
that album is a
experiences,
perfect like amalgamation of all of the members' influences. So the specific thing about like Vermont in general, it doesn't have a sound. Like in hip hop, at least, like we have
it's
a lot,
more
like,
known
a lot
for
of
like
jam bands,
folk and stuff like that.
Jam bands like that, and like Noah Khan's now global. Shout out to Noah Khan.
Sure, yeah.
And so there was never like a sound for like hip hop at all. And so that was also a blessing. We were able to just kind of paint a blank canvas and kind of just do our own thing with like no judgment, or had to fit into like a loop of any sort of genre too. But that album is like, just a crazy collab of all of our influence. There's pop stuff. There's like Red Rum, just like gritty hip hop. There's like Champion, which is like so obviously like Ye infused, Bon Iver infused. There's
100%.
like Lock and Key by Philosophy. It's just like straight pop. There's
literally my favorite.
Yeah, we were able to just bend all the genres we want, and then like Crash at the end with Nadia, just like. Yeah, it was sick. It was like
songs,
there's no rules. There was no rules at all. You just do whatever you want, and any song could be however long. It could have 8 switch ups. It could be
right.
It's a crazy ride. It's a roller coaster.
It is. I mean, don't go anywhere, people. But obviously, because we got plenty left with Maari. But if you haven't heard that album, we'll obviously link it all in the description, so you guys can just dive through the 99 rabbit hole, so to speak, after this episode goes. But yeah, seriously, like I listened to that project, and what I was able to take away from it in the moment, and even looking back on it now, because I just respun it at the gym this morning just to kind of refresh my memory with it, is the variety. It's this weird sort of dynamic where it sounds cohesive, but you have a song like a Red Rum, and then it just goes right into a lock and key, and you feel like it shouldn't work because those two songs are so on their own, so different.
Yeah.
But it was this weird sort of, I can't even quite explain it, but I just loved the variety, but also the fact that you were able to kind of stuff so many different influences and genres within the track list.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Even a song like Bangarang, you know what I mean? There's a ton of
Weird
really
beat.
just weird beat.
Shout out to
right?
Samba, man. Yeah, shout out to Samba, shout out Hero Dose. He's killing it right now. But yeah, it's just a weird brainchild.
Yeah.
Infused by
it's
40s and like hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
It's a great time. Yeah.
40s and hot Cheetos.
It's a great time.
How difficult is it for, when you have so many members of a group? I asked the Van Buren guys this question, which...
shout out Van Buren, by the way.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say that before I asked this question, I think it goes without saying, too, because you were saying, we're talking about all these different collectives, right? Pro Era, right? Which is New York. That's about as close as we had here.
Yeah.
It's so cool now to see, a group like you guys and a group like Van Buren who... both, I guess, kind of came up at the similar times, I would say, like roughly, that sort of like gave New England, I don't want to say gave New England a sound, but kind of showed what we can potentially do from this coast.
So much talent here.
Because when you think East Coast, you just think New York.
New York, yeah.
And that's really about as far as it goes. And like that's why I feel such a battery in my pack, so to speak, to give the voices of New England music like at least some type of platform. Because
appreciate you.
Well, thank you. But there's
yeah.
others that are doing it as well. There's tons of other podcasts and platforms in the New England area that are realizing and obviously wanting to focus on giving you all of you guys a platform and a voice that maybe you might not have otherwise.
Yeah.
But there really is so much talent here, and it just goes to show that that it is possible, right, with you guys. But anyway, I've asked this question to the Van Buren guys, as many as I've had on, and they've all kind of give different answers and different perspectives, which I found interesting. But I'm curious on your take on this. So with so many individuals and egos, right? Because, and I don't mean that even in a negative way, right? We all have it. It's what makes creatives who they are, is that we all have egos.
Absolutely.
So what is it like to manage, we'll call it nine different people's opinions, egos, tastes even? I know I've heard you mention in different, interviews that, 3 out of the 9 might think this beat's like the coolest thing ever, and this other 6 are like,
100%.
hell no.
Yeah.
So how difficult was it, especially for the first album, Television, and then even the subsequent ones after that? How difficult was it to make sure that everyone's voice gets heard and that everybody feels like they have a place on this project without basically striking that balance, essentially? Yeah,
I don't even know how we found the balance, to be honest, in retrospect. But it was, it's hard. It's super, super hard, first and foremost. And it's I can imagine. Yeah, you have to take you run a democracy, and you have to take into account that every single person, it's like, everyone's opinion matters, and when everyone's different, then you just there was a lot of times where you just kind of exit a conversation. You're just like, well, this is still up in the air because it's very hard to maneuver with television specifically, and the sound and the writing and all that stuff. That was not really up for debate, if you will. It was kind of whoever was showing up that day was just making whatever, and then those songs happen on an album. And obviously there's production or whatever. There's small critiques, but it wasn't hey, we all feel this way about this one song. It was just really, again, we're young, didn't care, go with the flow. And then with Wherever You're Going, I Hope It's Great, we got the major label. We're doing the thing, major festival. We're in the game now.
Right.
And that's where it really became hard because, again, our intention wasn't to become a boy band. So it was right. Next thing you know, you're just oh shit, all of us have to agree. I don't know if we like that. So yeah, it was tough. You have to be really good with communication. There's countless 100 hours of us sitting in a room and talking for 5 hours at a time or whatever, just about the color of a hoodie. And
crazy.
You can see it in either way. It's are we really going to talk about the color of a hoodie for 5 hours? Or we really care this much about the color of this hoodie that it is going to take 5 hours to really discuss? And that's the tough thing is someone might be what if it's purple and green? And I'm why would we do that? What about if it's brown and pink or whatever. And then like someone's like, what if it's red? And it's like, okay, this is gonna be a long day. But yeah, you have to be able to have the hard conversation. Yeah, we've had a lot of hard conversations, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud of us for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. We still made it out the other side through everything,
Mm-hmm.
like still homies, which is great.
No, that is huge because
Yeah.
when you go into a creative endeavor and that becomes a business endeavor
And a business, yeah.
with your friends. I mean, again, like I love my business partners here, but yeah, we've had tough conversations too. And it's not always, we always don't agree, and that's fine.
It's totally
but
fine.
we always, I think it's a matter, like you said, it's a matter of communicating, but then it's also a matter of, okay, how do we find a way forward
Problem
here?
solving.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And it
I
might
was
take
funny, I was-
hours. It might take days. It might take
Oh my
weeks.
God.
It might never happen.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I was having this conversation with my business partners. It's like, it's so true because, and even he was even suggesting, like, as he's learning, you know, and really getting better at, you know, his craft of engineering. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of what audio engineering is. It's a lot of it's problem solving. I feel like a lot in this industry in general is problem solving.
It is,
in a lot of
absolutely.
ways, right?
Absolutely.
Once you get past the creative part of it, obviously the creative part of it, you know, that's the fun part. That's the
Yeah,
part
it's
where you
just
get
the
to express.
expression. Yeah.
But after that, it becomes everything's like.
Yeah.
But one of my business partners, Zafir, and this is big shout out to him. He always says this, and he always puts this in perspective when we're feeling overwhelmed about something, or we're trying to figure out a problem or trying to figure out a solution to a problem.
Mm-hmm.
His favorite thing to say is that really, I think, grounds us a bit. He'll say things, this one saying that's sort of along the lines of, you know, you're getting better or you're growing when your problems change. Mm-hmm. Like our first problem initially was, okay, how do we even fill out this huge space that we have?
Yeah.
But now our problem is not that. It's about like, okay, how do we, you know, scale the business we already have?
Yeah.
Like before that wasn't even a thing we had considered. Like the first problem was, how do we even get clients? Okay, now we have clients. How do we scale that? How do we, so you know what I mean? It's like, so when he says that, or like, I always try to think about that because that's always resonates with me a lot of like, you know, you're growing, you know, there's things because your problems inevitably will change. And
Absolutely.
a problem that might have been you had 5 years ago, you're not even thinking about it anymore because
In 5 years, then I was not thinking that those would be my problems in the future.
Exactly,
So
right?
Yeah, we were
So-
all just genuinely trying. I was just sat down with my boy Cal. He used to be our manager throughout that whole.
Yeah,
we just
I have
sat
a
down the
question
other
about that
night.
later, but go ahead.
Yeah, and he just put it a good way. He was like, "Yo, we were all just trying our fucking best. Like
That's all you can do,
All
man.
we could
That's
do.
all
I
you
mean,
could
I
do.
was 21 years old when I signed to Warner. Like
crazy.
we were children. Juju was 18, something like
insane.
that. Like everyone was children. Like, I think
Yeah.
Swank was the oldest. He was like 22 or 23.
Right,
Something like that. It was crazy. It was just like, and then a pandemic. It was just.
There's
it was
so
a lot.
much.
Yeah. So I am
believe it.
extremely proud of us for somehow
You
coming
guys
out the
did
other
it, man. You really did it.
Thank you very much.
My last question in the objective, and this question will resonate with anyone sort of in our age bracket, but I think will be very insightful to anybody younger than us that doesn't realize how pivotal SoundCloud was in the early 2010s. So, in terms of networking, right? And I felt a lot of ways like the Odd Futures, the Brockhamptons, like SoundCloud was a huge way for artists to find themselves or find each other. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So like
and themselves.
I guess, right? And themselves too, right?
Yeah.
Right. How pivotal was SoundCloud in you guys all sort of like
Crucial. Crucial. SoundCloud was everything. Like, I still love SoundCloud. Like,
I do too. It's used differently now, but
it's not the same.
it's not the same as it used to be.
It's not the same.
definitely
There's
not.
something in the water then. But yeah, I mean, SoundCloud's how I met Samba. Like,
Crazy.
SoundCloud was literally like the greatest tool ever if you were like coming up, or if you were big. Like, there'd be huge artists just dropping like dropping things on SoundCloud. It wasn't even on DSPs. It was like you could only find like this blah 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 song on SoundCloud. But yeah, that's how. Yeah, just the DM. That's how I met Chase Murphy. That's how I met.
Dude, big shout out to Chase Murphy.
Shout out
Chase,
my boy.
I know you're watching this. I promise we'll get you on here soon. I know,
know
we've talked
you're
about-
watching this.
I know he's watching it too, and he's probably sitting. How the hell did Maari get on before I did?
I'm him.
Chase is totally.
That's my brother, man. But
We
yeah,
love Chase
yeah.
out here.
SoundCloud is incredible. Yeah, that's how I met Chase. That's how I met Samba. Yeah, just be able to DM, send tracks, like everything, and then also to get. The most important part is to get live feedback. Like when you drop a song, you immediately see the plays. It can be unhealthy. I mean, depending on how much you like read the comments or care about the streams.
hear
or
you,
whatever.
man. Yep.
But like, yeah, you can just like get like almost instant gratification from it. You put it out, it's out there. It doesn't even have to be permanent. You can take it down, whatever. Like, Yeah, it was so freeing, and the scene was just so cool. It was just so cool. There's so much creative shit going on in there.
Yeah, there really was.
Yeah, it was super crucial.
Cool.
Super crucial.
It's dope. Yeah.
Shout out SoundCloud.
Yeah, seriously, those of you that are younger, like probably ages that I teach
Yeah,
right
man.
now, high school kids, like, you guys don't understand.
You had
SoundCloud
to be
was
there.
SoundCloud was it. Let me tell you.
SoundCloud was it, man.
Was it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that was the objective.
Love that.
That was great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then
Having a
we
great
moved
time.
from the objective to the main lesson.
Okay.
So I don't want to bring anything down, but I'm curious because I feel like I have to ask this question.
sure.
About you guys, I would say it's difficult because it doesn't feel like you've maybe disbanded as a group, but a lot of things are still running through the 99 brand. Is that correct?
Yep.
So you guys led to the decision to not make music as a whole anymore. Is that
the band.
As
that
the
we
band.
It didn't work anymore. It just didn't
Interesting.
work. Yeah.
So I'm curious, what led to the decision? What do you think about it didn't work? And then how do you guys see the 99 brand still continuing to play a role in all of your individual creative endeavors?
Yeah. So the first part, it wasn't work. So why we called the album Wherever You're Going, I Hope It's Great, was we already knew before that it was like, going forward, we were like, this was super fun. Love you all, but like, we were ready to spread our wings. It was like, 6 years or something like that. Like, also we were 10 people living in a 5-bedroom for multiple years. It was just like, we went through a lot. And we also realized that, like, again, like after being a collective and just kind of having free will and do whatever you want, being subjected to just only having 16 bars on one song to like show your artistry is not conducive. It's just not. And like, there's a lot of things that everyone in the group wanted to do that others just didn't want to do. And it's like, you should be able to fully do that. But
100%.
With the deal that we were in, we couldn't do that. It like all had to be, it was like very Brockhampton. It was like, you like have to, or at least that's, like, that's not even disrespect. Just like, we had to be.
I think it's a
like,
good,
all like one unit on like every song. And it was just like, well, I made this like indie folk song and like none of y'all want to do, which I do. Like, and I was like, you guys don't have to be on this. It's like all good. I just want to drop it, but you can't. And so it felt very restricting, and we were just growing up and realizing like, we want to go do other things and like with our music. But with the platform, we're just going back to most people that were really confused, which like I'm so appreciative that we have the beautiful platform that we do. Most people were confused because I don't think they like dug far enough to see how it used to run. Like if you go back far enough on our YouTube page, it's just like the most random shit. It's just like everyone was kind of doing things, firing at all cylinders, every which way. And then we did the band thing, and then now we're just going back to that and like more matured with way more of a vision, so much more like honed in on our craft, like just better, back and better than ever type of thing.
Love it.
So we're just dropping on 99 because like, we literally like, I remember we were sitting in, sorry, this is kind of long-winded, but
no, this is the whole point.
We were sitting in August 1st, which is a restaurant that Samba's parents owned, and we used to have these big meetings in there. And we literally said one day, we were just like, let's just all get together like the Avengers, build up a platform, and then once it's big enough, do it, just spread out.
It's still Marvel.
It's still Marvel.
You're doing your own solo movies.
The fucking it's the Marvel. It's the universe now. Like
right.
Yeah. You're tapped into the metaverse. But it's all in good things. I think I can't blame people for like being upset or thinking like, oh fuck, they're never making music anymore. It's like no, we're just doing it over here. We're just doing it kind of on our own terms when we want. We're independent now, and so we can move however we want. It's good that way.
Well. Yeah, I think that there's initially that response, right? Especially your super fans of like, this is really upsetting, it's sad, all that stuff.
I totally understand it.
I think you have to look at it too from the opposite side, and it goes back to a conversation we were just having, which is like, it is really hard to manage that many people in a collective. It's just
make everybody happy.
It's close to impossible, if not impossible, right? I mean, Odd Future, inevitably they utilized that platform to then push their own stuff further, right?
Exactly.
So like, you almost don't think of Odd Future as much now when you look at a Tyler the Creator, right?
sure.
Or you look at an Earl Sweatshirt. Maybe you do like, all right, that was the roots, but like even ASAP Mob, they don't. It's not like they do everything together anymore. Brockhampton had to disband, unfortunately. Like,
it makes sense. Shout out to them. They trooped it for a long time.
They did troop it.
Like,
they were going through hell, probably.
Yeah,
like
straight up. I can't imagine.
They were going through. They were going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
which sucked.
Yeah.
At least, and it was all very public, which is which is
shout out to them,
too.
bro. Like it takes real. Like that shit's real.
Yeah, so I think it's almost a utopian concept to think that your favorite group, band, whatever, is gonna last long term.
I'm not the Stones, man.
It doesn't always
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Even like for me, like even Outkast, I'm a huge Outkast fan.
Yeah.
They're the entity that got me into hip hop.
We would have never got that Flute album.
They had a crazy. What's that?
So we would have never got that Flute album.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, they had a crazy run, obviously, too, but there was only two of them, and they couldn't even continue to see eye to eye.
That's even harder too. Like I can imagine, just a duo. It's like it's either my opinion or your opinion.
Right?
There is no like
we got to stand
democracy.
on it. Right. So I think just inevitably it's hard for even bands, right? Most bands, it's just it's becomes difficult to keep things. There's just so many factors, and you're all human beings. And also,
absolutely,
something you brought up too that was interesting, that I think is very important to bring up, is that when you guys signed your deal, you were all in your early 20s, and you grow so much from 21 to 25, and then 25 to 30. Like I remember being 21, and then all of a sudden, felt like I was all of a sudden 25, and I just felt so much older.
So much.
I feel like I learned so
much
now,
bro. Like we're out here. Like we're
stressing
out here.
about so much. His man lost his hair.
Like I'm dead ass. I had beautiful waves. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So
it'll
grow.
eat you alive for real.
Yeah. So it's
it's
inevitable, and it's. I think, unfortunately, with a lot of music fans, right, and I've fell into this hole plenty of times, but there's a human being behind that song, behind that goes through and grows and goes through things or whatever.
We're so human on our albums.
You are.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to understand that like sometimes things just aren't meant to last. Yeah, and that's okay.
100%. And like I'm 26. Like I'm still so young.
You're still young. Yeah, exactly, man.
The way I put it is like it was really fun when I was 17, 18. Like when we were that young, like nothing in the world mattered. And then you grow up and you're like, all right, some shit matters. Like I should like probably take care of this. Like yeah. And so like your
problems changed.
Your problems changed. And so like. Oh, yeah, I'm 26 now. I want to do other stuff. We all do. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Which is important.
Like, and again, I'm so happy is like this could have ended so many different ways. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we all came out on this other side through like a crazy whirlwind on just like still being homies that still see each other like almost every day. It's still great. Like no one like fucking died. Like nobody spiraled completely out of control and like you know what I mean? It's like we all head high. Thugging it.
Yeah, and that friendship matters probably more than anything, even with all the success you guys have had.
That's the other thing. We didn't want to spoil. We did not want to, like for our fans, for ourselves, like go out messy. Like, you know what I mean? Or like have like some bullshit happen just because like we really cherish. These are the only people in my life that like know what happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's that like
which is probably how it should be, truthfully.
Yeah, that's that like it's just it's a real family. Like
Oh, that's amazing. And I know and how you guys did it, I feel like now it still leaves the door open for you guys to collaborate even too and work on other,
I was just on Swank's album.
Yeah.
Right. Me and Hero Dose Samba, we're on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So it's still even though
everybody.
You're still leaving that brand open so that way you can all still utilize it and sort of eat off of it, but at the same time, it still leaves it open, like I said, for you guys too.
And again, like this is literally like the blueprint is like it's so special when you hear Frank on a Tyler album. It's so special when you hear Sid on a Steve Lacy project. You hear like whatever, like you have these or like mellow hype to mellow high, like these pockets, like, and that's what it's all about. And so I'm super stoked. Like the future is so bright. We all have so much music. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah, we're amped, man.
Oh, so cool.
Really good chapter,
bro.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to hear that it was a mutually agreed upon thing, and that it was 100%. Amicable, and that more than amicable. I hope it's great. Hope it's great. That's great.
It's been pretty good.
It's been pretty good, man. Yeah. I want to continue the main lesson because we have plenty to talk about with your own solo music. We haven't even gotten any of that yet, and we need to.
Yeah, I got you.
But first, it's actually time for a pop quiz.
Oh, shit.
So if you're a fan...
Is this like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Because like... Low key, I don't know.
Not quite. I'll explain it in just a second. But if you are a fan of 99 Neighbors or maari and just sort of being introduced to our platform,
Which camera should I look at?
you can look at either one. Probably that one's on you. The one to the left. That one's
I just want to check this entire
you.
time. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm looking.
The phone is only back there in case like that's so everyone gets confused. They're like, "What's the phone for?" That's in case something bad happens with the camera.
It clips
and
out,
I lose something or I lose everything.
Smart.
We still have the phone.
Smart man.
We don't. Yeah, I've lost one too many podcasts, and I've lost one podcast, but
That's
that was
good.
enough
That's still
for me to make sure that we're not losing another one.
All right, cool.
But anyway, your camera's all the way to the left in case you want to. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah. If you want to be creepy and looks directly into it. I really creep out the audience. That'd be fun. Anyway, pop quiz.
All right.
It is a segment where we ask our guests rapid fire questions. Some have to do with music and some have absolutely nothing to do with music at all.
Okay.
The catch is that it's mostly about you. So there's no possible way you can fail if you know yourself.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable in knowing yourself.
sure.
So some of it has to do with music. Some of it has absolutely nothing to do with music
I'm
at all.
stoked.
Just might be some stuff I might have found out about you. Anyway, we're gonna leave it easy, and then we're gonna get progressively a little bit more. I won't say challenging, but in depth. Curious. Someone actually told me to ask this because they were curious. My friend, shout out Julian Mendoza, who's a huge fan of you, by the way.
Shout out. Thank you so much. I love you. Appreciate you.
Why did you change your stage name from Sam Paulino to maari? What was that?
That's a good one. That's a good one to kick off with. Basically, I always wanted an artist name. Like I always did. Like I've tried so many times in high school. I was like Sam Metro. I was Sammy Swank. How did that work out with Swank? Yeah, that was strange. I was that was strange. Yeah,
Sammy Swank.
Yeah, Sammy Swank. I was like desert, like indigo, desert, something so
Indigo
dumb. Like
desert.
I don't know what the hell it was. I was trying things. I was young, but I tried to find a name forever, and then the 99 shit just took off faster than I could have a name. Exactly. And then I was just Sam. And the main thing that was weird, though, is like I'd be walking around like L.A. or whatever. And so I'm like, hey, you're Sam Paulino. And I was like, I don't like that.
You don't like that?
Like, I don't know you like that. So like, no, like, again, church and state, though. Like the main reason I did it was just to separate church and state. Like maari is like a great artist and I'm Sam, like when I go home. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I also like the music that I make and I've been wanting to make and have made is like kind of genreless. It's soundless. It's like I don't want to just be like I didn't want to be Sam Paulino anymore. I was like I wanted something very elegant, very beautiful. I just made it up in my room. I just like was putting letters together and
it works.
maari was sick, and then
nice.
Yeah, and it's simple, elegant. And it can be as ambiguous as I want it to be.
I love that. Love that answer.
Thank you for that question. Appreciate it.
This actually is a perfect segue. You just mentioned it. So I know you love the genre blending, the cross genre thing. It's
my thing.
It's what 99. I feel like
Yeah.
sort of stamped their sort of thing with, and in your solo music I hear it a lot as well, which we'll get into soon. But I'm curious, which artist do you think cross genres in the most unique way that you've heard recently? Can be an artist that you know personally or one that you've just heard in the ether.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I think Drake does an amazing job. Yeah, I might get crucified for that, but
you might.
yeah, I might. Dang,
he at least try. Like I'll respect about Drake. Like he totally tries. I don't think all of them land.
No, not everything hits. No.
That dance hall shit, I wasn't really a huge fan of.
I'd
But
be rocking with that. that Madiba rhythm be crazy. But shit, who else, man?
for me, just recently, I just came out of this artist by the name of Shabuzi.
Oh yeah, Shabuzi's great,
which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm not
so many artists.
I'm not a huge country fan, but the fact like I heard like there was still hip hop in there,
Shabuzi's
and like
sick.
He was pretty cool. That was just one that comes to mind.
I know there's got to be somewhere. There's got to be someone somewhere.
You're gonna think about a half dozen when you get back in the electric car.
I mean, who I'm listening to right now that is just like I've never heard a sound like this is McGee.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, this dude MK.GEE. It's like it's. You know Dijon by chance?
Yeah, know Dijon.
They're tight. They're like playing each other's bands. But McGee just put out an album called 2 Star and the Dream Police, and it's like this crazy take on like indie 80s rock, like dream pop rock. I can't even explain it. It's like one of the most incredible albums ever. So yeah, it's just a lot of genres all in like this It's crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Dope.
check that out.
Good
That's a
recommendation.
good question. My brain was like, I can't think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good, man.
Yeah.
All right. Is it true that your first official rap group with your now manager Cal was named Fly Young Gentlemen?
You goddamn right. You goddamn right. Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to me about the
FYG.
Talk to me about FYG, the Fly Young Gentlemen.
Fly Young Gentlemen.
When I heard that, bro, I actually audibly laughed out loud.
Thank you for knowing that. That's I don't know if I should love you or hate you for that.
Probably the latter, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's the latter. Yeah, the FYG was when I was a freshman in high school, I was like, yeah, I mean, we were like 13 or 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you know,
I have a couple screen names when I was about that age that on AOL AIM back in the day when that was a thing that
we
I'm
were fly
not
as hell. Our whole thing was just like getting fly. Like that's all we wanted to do. We had like wearing like it was so 2012. It was like Brixton hats with Diamond Supply Co., the Goodwood chains, like True Religion. It was just everything. Yeah, we just loved getting fly.
Funny.
And to be honest, actually, no one actually knows this, but if anyone out there knows this group, but Fly Union, they're a group out of Cleveland back in the day that used to drive this dude Jarreau. He's still killing it.
Jarreau,
yeah. He was in a group called Fly Union, and basically we were like, they're fly. What if we're just like Fly Young Gentlemen? And then it was really dumb. Yeah, but we made a mixtape when we were like, 13 or 14, and it was bad for sure. And we did a lot of, but that's when I first started performing. Like I started performing locally in like 2011, 2012. Yeah, just with Fly Young Gentlemen, and then all the way to 99 Neighbors.
So funny.
Yeah, I've been at this a long time.
You've been at
I've been at this a long time.
You're only 26.
I'm only 26.
But you've lived a long life in music years for sure.
Exactly. Appreciate it. Yeah,
I love it. And it's unfortunate that Cal, stopped rapping too, huh?
Man, yeah, he hates those days. He loves it, embrace it. I've tried to make him rap a couple times, like trying to make. I mean, he's our manager. He's sitting on the couch. I'm like recording Hazel. I'm like, get in there, bro.
Oh,
like,
yeah, one of my favorite.
Come on.
Speaking, you're kind of going well into some of these questions,
It's
which is great. I'm curious about, you had mentioned, you just recently, not recently, excuse me, you started performing around that time with the Fly Young Gentlemen.
Yep.
So venues like, excuse me if I'm incorrect in this, like Higher Ground, right? Is
Sure.
that Patrick Gymnasium, Arts Riot, or Indie and DIY venues like The Lip and Jim's Basement are just some of the venues you guys performed at when you first got your start.
Yeah. Jim's Basement.
That was what I
Maybe
read. I don't know if that's a thing.
I've been around.
At least that's just what I read.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. What's the most underrated venue in the Burlington, Vermont area to see live music, and why?
That is good. Underrated.
Yeah, maybe not the best. You can also say the best too if you want.
Yeah, but like the most like low key, I kind of want to start that. I don't think it really exists yet, but like I low key want to start like there used to be this spot called 242 Main back in the day that we used to like. That's where I was doing my first like couple shows. But it was just this like kind of like boiler room feeling like weird warehouse thing, and then you'd have sick acts. Like I remember like Rory came, like Flapper Zombies came.
Oh no shit!
Like, it was sick. But anyways, I would say probably either Radio Bean or Club Metronome. Club Metronome is like if you know, you know. It's an upstairs venue, so it's like it's kind of tough to like. You just gotta know.
Okay.
Gotta know. Yeah. Club Metronome, and then Radio Bean is like really sick. That's where most like indie artists be playing and shit too. So
cool.
Yeah, you'll find some good music there.
Awesome. Off of that, how do you feel where the Vermont music scene is at now, and like where do you see it going? Is there anybody coming up in the Vermont sort of music scene that you feel like is
flourishing?
Yeah,
flourishing. I mean, I was just listening to an older interview the other day of ours, and somebody, it was like 2018 or whatever, and somebody asked like, "What's it like?" And there was really no one really doing much at that time besides us and like our like close friends. But now it's like everybody's doing.
Well, it's just become more accessible.
Yeah, it's become more accessible, and like not to toot our horn. People tell us this, but it's also like like we really did kick in the door and show kids that like this shit is possible. Like, you 100%. Can go to the moon from this small town. I mean, my boy North Ave Jax is killing it.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's gas. He's a little younger than I, but we used to work at the same restaurant together way back in the day. He's killing it. My boy Chice, my boy Charlie Maine.
Okay.
Yeah, my boy Charlie Maine, he's incredible, killing it. My boy Leander. Antona, I mean, Hero Dose, like that's the crew. But oh my God, there's so many, bro.
That's so sick to hear because it's like you don't think about.
Tyler Sereni, Tiptoe, bro. Like my brain is blanking. I feel so bad. There's so many people. But yeah, you can just dive down the rabbit hole and
That's sick.
Yeah, but those
I'll have
are
to check out some of those.
those are all the homies. Yeah, killing it. Vermont's on the up and up. Noah Khan. I mean,
right? We all know Noah Khan. We all know. Yeah, he's mainstream at this point.
Yeah.
Well, or borderline, I would say about mainstream.
Yeah.
What was a highlight from each of your playing careers in football and lacrosse?
Whoa! Highlight from my days.
From your athletic days, bro.
Okay, some light. Highlight from football. Well, I was a wide receiver.
Okay.
And
you don't strike me as a wide receiver. I feel like you give off like running back D end vibes.
I'm quick. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I played everything. That was my thing. I was like 6 foot, but like at that time, like 200, but super fast because I was always playing lacrosse or like and basketball. So I had the hands. So like I was just
my sport.
Yeah, I was just me too. That's my main sport.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, that's my
okay.
main sport.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, but so I was playing wide receiver, and then one game my coach just put me at nose for no. He was like, "Go play nose." I was like, "What? Like on the line? Okay, sure." And I was so like these dudes are so massive. It was tough, but they're so massive. But I was like slim and quick, so I was able to just like shoot the A and B gaps.
Yeah.
I got 4 sacks in a game one time.
Damn.
Yeah, I was turned up. Yeah, it was good. And then lacrosse, I don't know if there's any specific like highlight. We never won a ship. Like my year never won a ship or like, it was just fun. Like lacrosse is just incredible. Like that's one of my favorite sports like ever. Best shape of my life.
Yeah.
It was so fun, super competitive.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was sick. It was just so sick.
My uncle ran a long time. He ran because my dad's side of the family is a huge lacrosse family, and he ran a huge AAU program out here called Raptors.
Hell yeah!
And they were he like built that thing from the ground up, and it was big for both my cousins played college lacrosse.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So that was big. I'm definitely a basketball player. That was
I'm a baller. First
me too. Okay,
I'm a baller. But,
same.
But yeah, no, I played like every sport growing up. So yeah, lacrosse, football, and basketball were like were my main three. Yeah,
very dope. Very dope. How'd you meet Chase Murphy? And just curious about your relationship with Chase.
That is my motherfucking dog. I know you're watching this.
I know he's watching too.
That's my fucking dude. So yeah, this was
a lot of love for Chase.
A lot of love for Chase. It was like 2017. I think I just dropped South Cove. This is around that time that like me and Hank just got the apartment. It was like that long ago, pre 99 Neighbors. He hit me up on SoundCloud because I dropped this song called Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, hit me up on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Hit me up on SoundCloud. I dropped this song called Mr. Miyagi, and then I went to his page and he had the song 30 Below and No Mo out. And I was like, all right, yeah. Like, all right, we're both like, because that's the other thing about SoundCloud. There's a lot of people that be hating you and be like, bro, trust me. And it's like dog shit. I'm like, fuck, like just
not
scrolling.
Chase Murphy though.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so he sent me his songs. I sent him his. And then he was like, yo, like, I'm from Boston. Like, you guys are right there. We should do a show together. We should link up. And I forget, like, I think the first time we ever linked, I think it was we headlined the Higher Ground Small Room and sold it out. That was like a 300 cap, and we had him and Danny Diamonds. We had Golden Boy.
Danny Diamonds,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, we had them pull up. This was like 2017, and had them pull up and killed the show, and it was great. And we just clicked since then. And then we went on this whole we just did New England runs nonstop. Like us and them would go to like St. Lawrence University. We'd go play like a bunch of colleges. We'd it was great. Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, so he's seen us since we were nothing.
Oh, that's interesting that you guys go that far back.
Yeah, we go super far back.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because when you and I first started chatting and over DM or whatever, I'll never forget this. You were just like, because there were so many connections early on, and then you were just like, oh, and you know Chase Murphy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Yeah, absolutely. I know Chase. Like, no doubt. Like, he's awesome. And you're just like, oh yeah, he's on a Greyhound to like my house like right now.
Right now, yeah. He came to stay for like 2 weeks. Yeah, this was like a few months ago. He's a wild man.
He is, man.
He just be calling me and being like, "Yo, like, what you on?" And I'm
walks
like,
to the beat of his own drum type
straight
deal.
up,
You know
like,
what I mean?
He's like Mr. Worldwide. He's all over the place.
I like
He's
him
everywhere.
though, man. Yeah.
But yeah, he called me and he was like, "What you doing like this week?" I was like, "Working." He's like, "All right, well, I'm coming to see you." I was like, "Okay." I mean, you can like kick at my house while I'm at work, but like, now we had one of the greatest weeks like in recent times for me. It was so good. Just made a bunch of music, kicked it. Like, it wasn't even about business. We were just playing pool and like bars. We were just having a good time.
Oh, yeah, I like pool too.
Shout out my boy. Shout out to Chase Murphy. Man.
Big shout out to Chase Murphy.
Of course.
No doubt about it. Obviously, Massachusetts home and grown. So
Indeed.
we love Chase out here. Curious about when you initially signed the Warner Records deal. What was one aspect of the music industry you feel like you learned through that process?
Whoa.
Or one like important. I mean, you probably learned a lot, but I'm just curious, like if there was a
everything.
specific important aspect of the music industry that you learned.
That's a really, really, really good question. Trust yourself.
Okay.
Damn, that's really good. Yeah, trust yourself and just try to keep your head on straight too. Like, I also had a very interesting experience with like a major. It was like 9 of us. It was like a group and like
Sure.
yeah. So like, I don't know what it's like to just be a solo act on a major doing whatever. But yeah, you just gotta like just keep a good head on you. Like, things can just get really crazy. Like it's a very crazy. It's fast lane life. But I would say this, like, if major labels are incredible for like the right people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if
I've heard this similar
you
sentiment.
know, like, it's kind of like if you are cool with just like talking to a lot of people about what you do all the time, and like you kind of like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's like if you're cool with like yeah, working with a massive like machine essentially. Then like absolutely go for it. I think for us in particular, that's why it's kind of hard to answer. It was like we already knew what we wanted to do and like had a vision. Then to add more cooks to the kitchen was just really difficult.
It didn't work
out. Yeah, I learned a lot of things, but I can't think of like one in particular besides like you got to trust yourself and just like, yeah, keep going. Just like it can get real crazy over there.
I believe it.
It can get real crazy over there.
I believe it.
Yeah.
My last question.
Also, own your fucking masters. We always have owned our masters.
Good.
Own your masters. Own your masters for sure. Like, main thing about that deal, when we first signed, they tried to throw us like, we had a nice deal on the table, but we were like, they wanted to, you know, there's a lot of little things in that contract that we like. We really did sit down and read through that entire
read
contract.
your
with our
contracts,
attorney.
people.
Read your contracts.
Read your
and then
contracts.
realize like, oh no. Ended up taking so much less money. We only took like, I'm not gonna say it, but
it's okay.
We took so much less money, but we had ownership. So like, just make sure you have ownership. Like, don't let the dollar, don't let the the shiny shit, of course, fool you. Yeah.
But that worked probably out for you guys in the long run to be able to, you know,
absolutely
get out of that a little easier.
For sure. It's a symbiotic relationship. Like,
right.
I have no bad like ill will.
Yeah, because I've heard some horror stories.
Yeah. There's more stories. We got a pretty scot clean. Like,
good.
Yeah.
Good. Happy to hear
and
that.
you know what though? Like, in retrospect, there's times I was very upset and like very angry. But shout out to them for giving us a shot too. It's like at the same time,
that too. Yeah.
At the same time, we were just some fucking kids from Vermont, like making some really weird rap music. So they did. They took a risk and so did we. So
sure.
Yeah.
No, I hear
shout
you.
out.
Makes sense. Yeah. My last question in pop quiz is: you guys were in Chicago for a little while, and then you moved. You were in Nashville for a little bit. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So, what was it about those two places and relocating? Like, what inspiration did it potentially draw from like a creative aspect? Because like, you know, you guys all growing up in Vermont, I'm sure like once you guys got on the Warner deal and sort of you know 99 sort of blew up to what it was, I feel like that allowed for you guys to probably travel a lot more than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was it about those two areas in particular? Because you guys were there like the longest out of your...
We were in, it's kind of the same. We were in both places for like a year and some change.
Got it.
And it was all during the pandemic, which is crazy too.
That is
so
wild, yeah.
so we were in Burlington. We signed with Warner, and we signed with Pat Corcoran, Pat the manager, Chance's manager.
Yes.
And so they're all based in Chicago. Like it was
Right.
like Pat and Chance and them were in Chicago, so we were like, let's go move out to Chicago. Before that, we were living in Island Pond, Vermont, which is like Northeast Kingdom, like spooky hours up there, just like nothing but woods. It was very strange. Moved to Chicago. Absolutely love Chicago. Like I love it. We didn't get to see too much of it though, because then immediately like lockdown happened like a few months later. But like those like 4 or 5 months we were there was like incredible.
Dope.
Met a lot of amazing people. Shout out my boy Solo Sam. We Chicago was amazing. And then lockdown just kind of fucked it all up. And then our rent was about to get raised. So like a year passes, we're like still in lockdown, and our rent was about to get raised, and like Chicago was just like going kind of crazy. And like the pandemic was still really real, and it was too big of a city. Like I didn't want to go outside. It was like people just like, we again with the mask thing. It was like with the vaccination, like all that stuff. I was just like, so then the team had a grand idea to move down to Nashville. I was like, why did we do that? And again, when you're in a democracy, I did not. Truth be told, I did not want to move to Nashville. I was like,
I believe it. I feel like that was an interest. When I read that, I was like, Nashville didn't seem like it added up for you guys.
I was just like, it just wasn't for me, and I was just like, I would rather not. I'd rather like go back to Burlington, or even like L.A. or New York or something like that. And in a democracy, you get outvoted. So yeah, there I was, found myself in Nashville. And
which I like Nashville as a city.
Yeah, it's cool. It just wasn't for me, like personally. Yeah,
sure.
And so. Yeah, we were down there and for like a year and some change. And to be honest, I think we made one song in the entire year and some change we were there. Like we made Wherever You're Going Up It's Great in Chicago. And then we went down there to like keep working on it. But all of us were just pretty like beaten dry at that point by like everything that had happened. And like we were going through a lot of label stuff, and it was just getting grim on all aspects. And so yeah, Nashville, to be real, was just a pretty like depressing time. We didn't make too much. Hank made Right Now in Nashville. The song Right Now off Wherever You're Going Up was great. Incredible song. That's like the only good song that came out of Nashville. And then after a while, we moved down there because like we had some team down there. Our management was down there, and our attorney was down there and stuff. And like it was cool. It was just like I was like, I don't know, it's not for me.
Just wasn't for you.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. But it was a crazy journey of moving. Yeah, moving like 4 times in like 2 years.
No, dude, trust me.
Yeah.
I haven't done those, extensive moves, but there was a stretch where, and it was all across Massachusetts in different areas, but I probably moved like 8 times in a 10-year window.
For sure. Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And with 10 people.
With 10 people, it's
like
even crazier.
So much crazier.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that was Pop Quiz with Maari.
love that.
Good job. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I hope I did a good job.
You did fantastic. Aced it, man.
All right, cool.
Again, but not a lot of people don't ace it, so you're fine.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so now we're still at the main lesson, and
I'm loving
we're
this.
back to the main lesson, I should say.
Okay.
And man, we got to talk. I mean, I'm sorry we didn't get to it. We'll get off on so many different tangents right now. Sorry we didn't get to it sooner, but All Is Fair in Love and War, your latest project out right now. It's very good, man. It's different. It's different than the 99 stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a good thing. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing or anything like that.
Yeah.
My first question to you, because you worked with SK as the producer.
My boy SK, yeah.
Which is interesting because there's an SK. So this is going to be an interesting connection here. So obviously they're spelled very different. His is spelled ES-K.
Yeah.
This SK is just literally the letter S, letters SK. He is one of the owners at Nowhere Studios where Giles recorded the song Bieber Buzzin' that you're on.
I'm on, yeah.
So that was just like a weird thing. But so I heard SK, I'm like, wait, the SK I know? No way.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Totally different SK.
Different SK.
Shout out to both SKs.
Shout out to both SKs.
I can only say I love one of you personally. I don't know the other one.
And
but
I can only say I love one of you personally. So we're good.
But I love both your music. So that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about working with one producer on a project. And the advantages and disadvantages that can be when you're just working with one producer. Kind of like, I want to start there before we kind of dive into the actual musicality of it. But
it was incredible. It was an incredible process. I executive produced. I just streamlined the whole thing. Basically, yeah. So SK and I were like, we met like 8 years ago or something like that. And we met like, again, like probably pre-99 and stuff. And we've been talking about it for years. And that was another thing I wanted to do was make a project with SK, but I can't do that like in the group and stuff like that. So
Where is he from? Sorry to cut you off.
Burlington.
He's a Burlington guy?
He's originally
Gotcha.
from, I think, Kansas City, but he's been in Burlington forever.
Got it. Okay. Awesome.
He's such a sick dude. He's actually my boss, my real boss at work.
Shut up.
Yeah, so I dropped an album with my boss, which is sick.
Who can say that they dropped an album with their boss?
Shout out my boss. He's the best ever. Like, I work at a dispensary in a cigar shop, so it's like it's the best job. Like,
that makes sense.
we've been talking about it for 8 years. He's been sending me beats back and forth for 8 years, and he's like a prolific like producer. Like when if I'm like, yo, like, can I get a pack? He'll send you like 60 brand new beats. Like just
wow.
He's just always, and he's got 2 kids and a wife. Like, and runs a shop. Like, I don't know how he does it, but like he's incredible.
Great
so
time
like,
management. SK.
For time management for
time
real.
management.
But yeah, he'll send me like 60 beats, and essentially I had like 300 SK beats, and I was like
crazy.
All right, like I gotta like go through these. I would like right here and there, and then I'd like go off on a tangent and like make a bunch of other stuff produced by me and stuff, or like me and Samba would link or whatever. And then I was like, all right, nah, let's sit down. I had a lot to say, and I was like, I want to do it over SK beats. And the tough part was like just finding the right beats, like the perfect beats for me. That just took a long time of sifting and like sitting with something. Like I originally didn't really rock with the Eyes Wide Shut beat when I first heard it.
Interesting.
And then maybe 2 months later I was just like smoking in my crib and like chilling, and then I just came on and I was like, oh, like it takes time. So
sometimes
I wrote the whole project in May of last year.
Okay.
I just sat down. Yeah, it was to work with him is very easy. He just sends me beats, I sift through, and I write to him. So like that was like a new process for me. I wrote it all in a month, and then sat with it for like 6 months. Like just like I recorded it all on like my phone, just like the demos and stuff. And then I don't know why it took me so long, but I just knocked it out.
Nice.
Yeah, called it a day.
So when I listened to the project, the stark contrast that I was hearing a lot was these very melodramatic, unique, somber beats that he had, and then I think it contrasted really nicely with the way in which that you rap and also your cadence.
Thank you.
I was wondering about, was that like an intentional thing, the way you rapped over those beats to kind of show that contrast, or was there like really... or was it more of what you were talking about topically, like from a passion standpoint?
It was a mix of everything. Like the main thing that people point out is like the voice. Like the voice is very deep on that album.
Very deep, like much deeper than the other. I mean, granted, maybe you've gotten
also,
older
I
too,
grew
but
up. I was
you
like
grew
21,
up exactly.
But the main thing is like this is my actual voice when I'm just like talking like late night when we're just like having a regular conversation. Right. It's like very down here. When I'm up here, it's like when we're on a podcast, we're like doing the thing.
Exactly.
But like, when I'm just like in the comfort of my own home, I'm very like relaxed over here. And so all those demos were just taken of me like sitting on my phone, and like I have this app where I can just like track my vocals. Sure. And that'd be 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like sipping on some Jack or whatever, and then like I'm really like here, and the things I'm talking about are so like personal that it was just I'm kind of just hunched over, just like kind of talking in the phone like this, and that's where the whole tone of the album came from. And then when I went to go re-record it, that's what was tough, was trying to reenact or like recreate these like 3 a.m. moments that I was like, that was so authentic, but I did it on my phone like just to get the idea off. So then it's definitely like voice acting for sure. Like,
100%.
it was definitely, there's a character on that album for sure. That one's very, I wanted it to be that way. I wanted it to be raspy, dark, gritty, kind of somber, and like
because your delivery, I felt that way a lot about your delivery, but then these beats were very much they were very I would say just what's the word I'm looking for, maybe somber, I guess is a good way to put it, but they were, it was an interesting contrast. I really liked it. I appreciate from it. A lot. I really liked the project. I'm curious for you in this stage of your career, right? And was this album really a moment for you to get a little bit off your chest and sort of like to be more personal than you maybe could be on a 99 album?
Absolutely.
In what ways do you think you were able to achieve that? And what do you hope when people that maybe are listening or haven't listened yet, what do you want them to take away from this project and this experience listening to it?
I wanted to kick it off with All Is Fair in Love and War to like kind of like set the record straight. I get so busy with these bars. Like, I'm a crazy rapper, for real.
You are very good.
Thank you very much. I'm a crazy rapper. So I wanted to be like, all right, look, like 99 shit, that's fun. Like, we're making like records. That's another thing. We were like trying to make records, like big
that's
like,
true.
songs. Like,
yes.
Big songs that'd be playing on the radio and like whatever. And that's not, no one wants to hear about like your dad leaving on the radio.
No,
or like, but it has
it.
to have a really good hook or whatever.
I get it.
So like, it was a very much like, I didn't really care to like make a smash or like make a song for anybody but myself. And so, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just saying, I think on this, one thing I was gonna say, like, I didn't think that there really was a smash on this album, but I almost feel like it's better served in that way if you actually can sit down and listen to the full experience.
Yeah.
The whole is better than the sum of its parts.
Thank you.
That was what I took away. I
agree.
think that,
That's why
I don't mean that as a criticism.
No.
It's just,
that's why I didn't do like a big rollout and like, here's the lead single and here's the other single. I just put Eyes Wide Shut out because I was like, if there is going to be a single, this is the guy.
That's the one,
and then the rest, it's just like, you just got to listen to the album.
Yes.
So I wanted to put my like best foot forward with my like rapping ability first and foremost. And then when you listen to it, for anyone that doesn't know who I am, it's just a really good way to get to know who I am. Like my thoughts, what I've been through. Like I talk about all the 99 stuff on there. Like most of the stuff, like Dear Diary, Eyes Wide Shut. Like when I cover my eyes, I see how much time really passed me by. I was just in diary mode essentially on that whole project. So I thought it'd be a really cool and raw way to get to know me and also to get to know Maari too. Just like new name, new me, whole new chapter.
Right.
I'm 26 now. Like, yeah, I'm grown up. I'm grown. Like I'm grown now. And so I wanted to really reflect that in the music. Yeah.
It really is a great body of work.
Thank you very much.
I really very much enjoy it.
Definitely like some of my best rapping to date for sure.
The writing too.
Best writing to date. Yeah. I went in.
Because I usually, in terms of a writing style, like I like the deeper stuff. Like I like when I can kind of get to know an artist a little bit more from the way that they write versus just, again, like I think a lot of the 99 bars, like they're fun. Some of them are very memorable, but I didn't feel like that was it was a good reflection of you guys as a group, but it's all kind of making sense now as to why you guys sort of are on the direction you're in right now, because there is clearly, I'm sure, a want for all of you to, I was even talking with Swank a little bit about this. It's like, I felt like he was able on his solo project to like give a little bit more about him and stuff like that. Like it was cool to get that insight to each of you now specifically with this new body of work that
Thank you,
maybe you wouldn't have been able to without it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was like you're trying to cram. I was like trying to cram All Is Fair into like 16 bar verses where I was like, here's what I'm going through. This is all the things that are happening. Okay, bye. Like
it's hard. It's hard.
It's really tough. So.
Especially when you're trying to make smashes, and
it's like got to be like a smack. So it's it was just 100%. You're battling a lot of different angles, but
for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a song that if nobody or if anyone listening to this has not heard the project yet, is there a song that you think could be a good introductory song that you would want people to hear first before they dive into the whole thing?
I would say Eyes Wide Shut. I'd say check out Eyes Wide Shut just because it's the most like, I mean, it's a single, but I still get really deep. So like, if you don't fuck with Eyes Wide Shut, you may or may not. That's tough to say because there's like Cupid's Arrow, Provider. I'm fully R&B.
I like Cupid's Arrow. That's good.
Fully R&B vibes.
Yeah.
But I would say check out Eyes Wide Shut, and then I would check out maybe Provider. Those would be
that was
two.
One of my favorites. Provider was so good.
To kind of get the gist of my bag. Like I'm a really great singer and I'm a really great rapper. So it's like, and I do it mostly rap on this project. But
sure.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we play a clip of Eyes Wide Shut for the people?
I'd love that.
Awesome. Let's do it. All right. So this is a little sneak peek. Eyes Wide Shut by Maari and SK. It's out now on all streaming platforms. And here's a quick sneak peek, and we'll be right back.
Way too fast for me,
me by, blame it all on me. I'm trying not to damage my pride, don't blow my high. I think I may have lost my way. Thought I'd get it right by now. These years flew by too fast for me. I can't slow down. When I cover my eyes, I see how much time I spend in my mind. It's weighing heavy on me. I've gotta put my pride to the side. I've been getting too high. I think I may have lost my way. Thought I'd be on track by now. These years flew by too fast for me. I can't slow down. How many years? Blood, sweat, and tears. I'm trying my hardest to navigate all my fears, love. Too many handshakes and champagne cheers, love. A million fans later, y'all tapping into a real one. And I've been at it for a decade plus. I'm still sleeping in the studio, I can't get enough. I put my city on the map cause we were stuck in the mud. Just promise you'll sing about me when they beaming me up. Feels like the end of everything I ever wanted and more. How many dreams turn reality for me and more? They tried to kick us to the curb, I stuck my foot in the door and brought the keys back with me for some moral support. How many times I gotta show you I'm on? How much time I gotta spend on the road to buy my family a home? How many nights I gotta sit here alone, perfecting melodies and taking Henny shots at the dome? I'm in my zone, baby. I'm just sharing my stories and sipping slow, baby. I'll tell you everything you wanna know, baby. From LA to London to South Cove, I'm praying this rap game will never turn me to a ghost, baby. Yeah. I'm just praying this rap game will never turn me to a ghost, baby. Yeah. Baby. Yeah. Maari.
And that was Eyes Wide Shut by Maari and SK off of his brand new project, All Is Fair in Love and War. It is linked in the description below. Don't go anywhere quite yet. We're almost done with Maari. We still got a little bit left to go. He's still here.
Kicking.
He's still here. It's all linked. Well, once the episode does conclude, hit those links in the description, people. You will be sadly mistaken if you don't.
Yeah.
Provider was. We were kind of talking about that a little bit off before we played the clip of Eyes Wide Shut. I love that song, man.
Thank you so
much. That
much.
one's super great.
I love that one.
I love the dichotomy of like you talking about, like it felt like there was so many different ways you could interpret that song.
Yeah.
Right. It really felt. I don't know. For me personally, like I come from a single parent household too, so I can kind of relate to some of that stuff. And on the precipice of, marriage for me and all that sort of stuff. And like think in that mode too, like thinking about like, what's the kind of provider that I want to be as a man and as a husband and all that sort of stuff. So, I just really appreciated the way in which you were able to convey, your thoughts on this project. Like I feel like I said a little bit before, but, I walked away from that definitely. That being like the thing that stuck out the most to me.
Thank you very much. Yeah, depth. I was extreme. Again, I'm like grown up now. It's like I'm able to like really reflect on all of trials and tribulations and all these crazy things that we've gone through. Just and I am impressed with myself on how well I'm able to articulate that shit. Like so,
as you should be. Yeah,
it's definitely the most articulate album I've ever made.
For sure, I would agree with that.
To date, yeah,
I would agree with that. How do you feel like this album for you, like what creative direction do you hope it sort of springs you into next? Like, is this sort of what people can expect from you going forward? Or is there sort of another sort of avenue you're looking to explore?
God. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got so much sick music. Like,
talk to me.
Yeah. So I've got like, oh man. Something I'm going to put out probably, I don't know. I've been sitting with it for a while, but like I just haven't just put it out. But I made a whole like drum and bass EDM, like ambient, like, do you know who Burial is by chance? This group like back in the day.
I don't think so. No, not familiar.
I just made this like very like ambient drum and bass electronic instrumental album. That's just really sick. That's just sitting on ice. I've got that. I've got a whole R&B project just singing. I've got a whole lot of house music, a whole lot of
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't take you for I know you like to party, so maybe
yeah. Well, it's funny. Me and Sam have been making house music since 2016.
No kidding.
Yeah, again, you just can't. We weren't able to like really show it in '99, so it's like
interesting.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard, or if anyone out there hasn't heard, I dropped a song called Waldoja.
Yes, I have heard Waldoja.
Yeah, last year, and that one I fucking love that song. So I have like
I can't remember what that sounds like now.
Bag like that. Yeah, that's a good one. I have a whole bag.
Was
like
that one a little bit more EDM? Like
that was like full drum and
house-
bass. Yeah,
drum and
yeah,
bass.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll have to
Yeah.
check that one back out because I remember you dropping it. I just can't remember what it sounds like now off the top of my head.
Yeah, love that song. So yeah, I'm all over the place, and I also
Yeah.
produce a ton. So I've just been making a lot.
Oh, interesting.
Of instrumentals, a lot of. I'm everywhere, bro. Like
Yeah.
this year, that's another thing with Maari. It was like, I wanted to intro with the rap to be like, don't ever get it twisted. Like I'm still hip hop.
These are my roots, man. Like I
I'm
can
still
rap
hip-hop
my ass off
for sure. But I get busy over here too. So this year's
Right.
gonna be a good year. I have a lot of music coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just the start.
Well, I mean, I've always felt that way about you guys. Like, even though like the music's always been unique, but there was always different sounds you guys were messing with. Even though I like brass tracks. Like, I'm a big fan
Shout
of them
out
too.
my dog.
Like the Fuck No song was incredible. I was like, this
Yeah.
sounded nothing like
Yeah.
what you guys were doing on television. Really, outside of maybe like a Lock and Key, but you really went full fledged into like that side of things. And I was like, damn, like this is.
We just want to do whatever.
It was so cool.
The one thing about Fuck No, it always is that song that you're like, why is that one the biggest? Like, we made it as like a joke.
Did you not think that was going to be big?
Well, no, we knew it was gonna be. We knew
that
it was gonna be
that's
big,
a hit, man.
but in like a joke way. We were like, literally, Samba was sitting in the living room one day, and he's like, let's make like a dumb song that like everyone's gonna sing.
It's just fun.
At like all the parties. Yeah,
It's
let's
just
make like a
fun.
fun
It's just
like
fun.
kind of song that does not that deep. And we did just that, and it went to the moon. But then like people were like, yo, you're like the Fuck No guy, and I was like, no. I am, but like. I rap, like, I really, like, I do so much other shit. Like, that was
really-
funny. Yeah. Shout out to Fuck No, that was huge.
I like that. Well, it's funny because with my friends who don't, some of which don't really get into like that experimental hip hop bag.
Yeah.
Like that was the song I was sending to most people for like, here's an introduction to 99 Neighbors, and like they actually all liked that song
Yeah,
when it
Fuck
dropped.
No, yeah, it's
it's
a
like
hit, yeah.
that was the hit. That was the one that usually went over better when I would send Red Rum, they'd be like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, some of the television can get spooky at times. It's
Except
like,
Lock and Key, that was always the song.
Yeah, Lock and Key's a smack. Yeah.
Yeah. But none of you guys are on it, so I feel some type of way. Besides Sophie, obviously.
No, shout out to
She was, yeah. That song, oh man,
Incredible.
too funny. But no, I think that's super dope that you're open to just different sounds and playing with different genres. Like I think that will initially, and I hope that it will help your longevity, right, going forward, and you being a little bit able to, I would say. I don't want to be a chameleon necessarily, but to just be able to adapt to different sort of sounds.
chameleon is the term.
Okay, then sure.
Yeah, for
Chameleon
sure.
is the word. Then it's fine.
Yeah.
I think that is a great angle there because even like you, like someone like Tyler that's right behind you. Like I've always respected. I've said this so many times on these episodes, but I just love the fact that he didn't make the same album twice. He just consistently made something that was a little bit different, a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
Maybe not unique to the world, but unique to him. And that always I appreciated. Mac Miller was another artist that I felt the same way about. And
one of my favorites of all time. Like,
I know, because you talked about Faces a lot on.
Like Faces
I think you brought up
inspired-
twice on
Faces inspired All Is Fair. Like
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned it a couple times.
Fucking love that album. Like
so good.
So weird and sick and like
weird. It's different.
Sad and but it's like all of the things.
Correct.
Yeah, and then with Tyler too, I got to have a great combo with Tyler back in 2019. The day after he dropped Igor, we were chopping it up for like. I happened to walk into the golf store. We all were there. It was the day we signed to Warner. We just happened to be on Fairfax, wherever it is. And we walked into the golf store, and there's Tyler in like the full like the Igor pink bomber with all the pins and shit, and we were just chilling. And this is a quick funny story, but
go for it.
Everyone in the group like started to like go over to the racks and be like, oh, look at this shirt. I was like, is no one going to dress like the fucking elephant in the room right now? So I just walked right up.
Big ass elephant too.
Yeah, it's tall as fuck. Skin, he's just like larger than life. It's like, I was like, whoa. But I walked right up to him and I was like, yo, man, like Igor's incredible. And he's like, oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate it, blah, blah. And then we just all talked for like, I don't know, maybe it felt like forever, but it was maybe like 15, 20 minutes, something like that. Yeah. And just talked about the album. We were like, yo, like the fucking what kind of keys did you use on blah 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 and blah blah blah, and he was it was so sick to meet him, especially in that on that album, like in that mode was like so sick. But that's where we get our inspo from, is like we always been Ye fans, like he's people that push boundaries. Like I'm a huge Bon Iver fan.
Oh my god,
like,
same.
Yeah, same. Like
so good.
I love
so good.
I love people that just push like
James Blake's another one I
love
like a
James
lot.
Blake.
Just
like
that ambient
Tori
sort of
Moi.
like,
Like
Tori Moi is so good.
so good. Like
Yep.
there's all these people that really inspired it. Like we're very digital. We're like digital hip hop. Like we want to push these like synth sounds and like these weird landscapes in rap on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So like North Michigan Gospel. Like if people don't know what 99 Neighbors is, go listen to North Michigan Gospel.
I'm not familiar either.
That's like our best song. That one's,
Oh, the song.
Yeah, the song.
That's
yeah,
on
on Wherever You're Going, Hope It's Great.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's
I
one of
thought-
the
I thought you were
crazy
saying
music
that was
video.
a band. I'm like, I've never heard of this band
Oh
before.
no. Yeah, no. Our song, North Michigan
Got it,
Gospel.
okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Go check that out. That one is like you'll get a good sense of like our son, a cool glimpse of like our sonic landscape.
Right.
On that one, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, got to push the boundaries, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's what makes a lot of times makes some of the best music. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
And that's why I liked so much about Brockhampton was because when I listened to them, I was like, I've never heard anything like this in my life.
When that Saturation 1 came out, I was like, what
This
the
is so
fuck is this?
different.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the type of shit I like. Even have you heard of Group Therapy?
For sure. Yeah.
They're another
yeah.
one where like,
Yeah.
Similarly, like a little bit less, members or whatever, but yeah, just pushing boundaries.
Well,
like,
how I found VB, shout out Van Buren again. Yeah, when I found
Van
VB,
Buren.
so I was one that put all the homies on. So I was just literally scrolling through Instagram one day, and it was the day they dropped Medic, and bro,
gas.
that fucking song. First, ET's a freak on that one. That shit is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone went nuts on that. So yeah, I saw that, and I saw the music video, and I was like. Looked them up and I was like, they're from fucking Brockton, Mass. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you can't sit with us. I was like, I ran that song. I remember I ran upstairs to the studio where everybody was working. I was like, stop everything we're doing. We have competition. These guys are super sick and they're from New England. Like, you have to know them. Like, this is fucking crazy. Yeah. So shout out them.
Dude,
again, they're fucking sick. Yeah.
Felix just was on a Brent Faiyaz song.
Indeed. Yeah. Upset. Yeah.
pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Shout out Felix.
Yeah.
That's the dude.
Meech hooked up with Sir Michael Rock's first a track last year.
So gas.
They're
Luke was just on stage with Isaiah Rashad.
He was.
Doing a little
I
jump.
just had Luke in this seat.
I saw that. Shout out Luke. Yeah, shout out VB, man. They're all incredible. All nice dudes.
They're great guys.
Yeah, great guys.
They're great guys. I
Yeah.
mean, I've had almost all of them on the show at this point, and minus a couple of them, which we'll get to you guys as well.
Yeah.
The ones that you want to.
There's a lot to go around.
E.T.'s so funny. He like came up to me like at a show.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro. Because I had never met him and like actually in person before,
Yeah.
but he's like, bro, I love what you do, man. Like, I appreciate you putting on all the homies. He's like, I don't really do interviews like that, but if I ever do, like, I'll come on. But I'm like, bro, no
Shout
pressure.
out ET,
like,
bro. He's nuts.
Yeah.
He's and Invada, like, bro, they're all
good,
crack,
man.
bro. They're all crack,
and they're
artists, so.
such good performers too. There's the synergy when they get on stage, and I like, and it's what I love about you guys is that everybody has a role, and they all also at the same time are very unique in their role.
Yeah,
and,
for
and
sure.
they all sound different. Like nobody in VB sounds the same. No one in 99. You guys don't sound the same. Like you and Swank do it's very different, right? Like what you all bring to the table, right?
Absolutely.
Nadia, Sophie, like all of you guys bring something. Hank, you guys all bring something very different to the table. Like from a sonic standpoint.
Yeah.
And I even think that's what I love about VB is that all their voices are just their cadences. They're all different.
They're
Like
sick.
Luke almost has that like high end register, but like whisper, thing you
Yeah,
can go
that
with.
shit's
And
crazy.
Giles just comes in with the like kind of like you with that just gritty
when I
like
first heard when I first heard his verse on Medic, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, brand new AK and they got a kickback. I was like, yo, that's
that was
so
a
great.
That was a pretty good
I
Giles.
would-
That
I
was a
would
pretty
get
good
Giles'
Giles impression.
Brand new AK and they got a kickback. I was like, bro, that shit is
That
crazy.
was one of the better Giles impressions I've heard. Not that I've heard that many, but that was quite the Giles impression.
Shout out my boy.
Yeah, appreciate you, Giles.
sure.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, it's
New England's in a good fucking place.
dude. I'm telling you, man. Like we really are. We
really
really are.
Really, really are.
I mean, it's a testament. I was saying it to you a little off air. It's like I have maybe it was on air. I can't remember now. This podcast has just been going great, but I have like a long list of people that I want to get to come on the show that I still haven't had on. I mean, I've been doing this for, podcast has been alive for 5 years, but really doing like the interviews and, mass or whatever for like 3.5, 4. And I still don't feel like I've hit everybody I want to hit. I mean, I've had, you're like guest speaker 100 and whatever this is in the hundreds. I mean, I've had so many artists on this show.
Let's go.
And
Bravo.
there's still so many more I want to have on, and still so many more that are hitting me up every day, being like, I want to come on. Like, it's amazing. It's like what we have here is really cool. And you know, there's great artists, like, of course, from Vermont and New Hampshire and Rhode Island. Like, there's so many that don't get the shine, don't get the love. It's just because that New England doesn't have that music industry infrastructure. It's just not what we have.
And motherfuckers just weren't checking. Like, that was the most frustrating part about coming up, like, especially in Vermont too, like rap music in Vermont. Like, sure, the thing, like, at least with Mass, you have like Boston. There's a city.
There's a city. 100%.
Like, we don't have a city.
Right,
like,
right.
Burlington is a city, but it's like not. Like,
yeah.
Ask anybody that goes to Burlington, it's not a city. Yeah, it was just tough to like try to cut through. And like,
I agree. I can only imagine.
I'm so happy for all the New England artists I have. It's like it's tough as fuck to come out of here. Like,
I know,
for real.
But we do have in New England. We do have that like gritty, do-it-yourself mentality.
For
like,
sure,
we do have that,
and there is like a cool camaraderie. That I think.
Well, there's starting to be.
Yeah.
It's funny, when I got into the music scene here in Mass, the narrative was always that everybody was so competitive and trying to like one up each other that's why there was never really an infrastructure created, because there was not enough camaraderie. But it's interesting. I've seen it. And it's funny that sometimes I don't know where this stereotype comes from, if it actually comes from out here or if it comes from other areas of the country, but that you'll hear that stereotype still, especially with Massachusetts. And what I've found now is that it's completely the opposite. Like, there's a ton of camaraderie, there's a ton of collaboration. Yeah. There's new and great innovative platforms and podcasts that are coming out. It feels like every month at this point in this scene, and you're starting to really see an infrastructure be built here that is a lot more unique and different than I think people realize. And it's so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what the solution is, to be honest with you. I don't have it. My whole thing is, you know what? I'm going to continue playing my part and doing what I can to like push the culture forward. Man. I appreciate you, man. No, I'm humbled in the fact that any artist ever gave me the time of day ever, that thought this was worth it, and to come down. And so, especially you, to drive down fucking 3 hours is really important.
Yeah,
light work. Yeah, that was a full circle callback moment.
Absolute light work.
Maari, everybody, what a fantastic! I'm just so thrilled that we were able to do this, and thank you so much.
Me too, man.
And
I was so stoked for weeks. I was
me too,
so hyped.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I hope this is the start of a good working relationship, man. I hope this is not the end that we see you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'll be back. I'll be back up in Salem. I'll be getting witchy. Yeah, for sure.
I know you're asking when you walked in, like, is Salem closed? I'm like, yeah. Just if you're gonna come in October, just be prepared.
Yeah. I'm gonna get spooky. I'm gonna get hella spooky around here.
All right. Well, we're gonna get a little spooky. He's gonna get a little spooky.
I'm gonna get a little spooky.
Before we let you go get spooky, we got to manifest a little bit. All right.
Yeah,
so
sure,
this is the final segment of the Turntable Teachers, and as always, we call it the open response. And in the open response, it's just one question. We call it the dream song scenario. So
dream song scenario.
Yes. Ooh. So you get a song. It's a Maari song. You can have any artists and producers on that song, dead or alive.
Oh, man.
Dead or alive. And I'll structure it for you. You get 1 to 2 producers, up to 2 producers, and you get up to 3 guest features.
Oh, man.
Who would be on Mari's dream song? Again, any artist, producers, dead or alive, up to 2 producers, up to 3 artists. I'll give you as much time as you need.
First of all, always want to make a song with Mac. He's got to be on it.
I think that makes
total
sense.
I don't care who produces it. I don't care what it sounds like. Well, I think as well, him and I are so similar, how diverse we are with like just the musicality level of stuff. So Mac for sure. I need Bon Iver. I need Justin Vernon.
Glad you said that.
I need that.
Producer or artist or both.
Fucking, if he's just in the room, like I'm cool with that. Like I'm so cool with that. But yeah, I want him to do like some production. Like his choices are really crazy. Ooh, that's so tough.
I like that you said Bon Iver too, because I think it speaks to like it. I know it's a different part of the country, but it still gives like off that like woodsy sort of vibe, which is like right up the alley of Vermont.
For sure. I grew up on Skinny Love and all. Yeah, come on. Yeah, so Bon Iver, I would have Mac.
Yep.
Ooh, I would have. I mean, I got Quentin Miller on the album. That was a dream.
That's fire.
That was a
Good
dream
for you,
goal.
man.
Yeah,
we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, that's like he's fucking gas. I've been a big fan of him forever. So to have him be the only feature on like my first That was sick. Yeah,
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So yeah, Mac Bon Iver. I want to bring some like I want Tyler on production.
Great choice.
I want Tyler on
Love
production.
that.
I want him on drums specifically. I want him on drums and keys.
Love that.
And then I'd get for the third rapper. Ooh, that's tough. Maybe like 454 or something.
Huh.
Or like something that's out there. Shit, man, that's a really hard one. Wait, real quick, who have I been listening to recently? Let me just take 2 seconds, real quick.
He's on his phone. Oh my god!
I know. We just talking about this shit.
I'm totally kidding. Go for it. I said take as much time as you need. Put the Jeopardy, thing on in the background.
Ooh, I really don't listen to rap like that much these days.
What are you listening to these days?
I'm all over the place. Most of that EDM shit.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah, a lot of like. My girl put me onto this dude Bank, BAYNK, super sick.
Okay, because I was listening to other. Oh yeah, Bank. I'm familiar.
Lukeman, LOUKEMAN, really sick.
Okay.
Vegan, a lot of vegan.
Huh.
Shit, dude. One more rapper, all right? One more rapper. Come on, Sam, we got this.
Doesn't be a rapper. It could be an artist.
That is true. It could just be an artist.
Yeah.
Let's go with
Be any vocalist you want. We've gotten some weird combinations out here.
Fuck it. You know what? Let's go with Tori Moi.
Ooh, I like
So
that.
me, Justin Vernon, Mac, Tori Moi, Tyler
On the production.
on Tyler and Bon Iver on production.
Production.
Me, Tori Moi, Mac on vocals.
I think it would be a smash hit.
That'd be gas.
That'd be a smash hit.
That'd be gas. I'm sure I could do this all day, but yeah, at the top of my head, yeah, those are the ones.
Well, instead of doing this all day,
Yeah,
we're gonna sign off here. We're
This
gonna
has
let you guys
I've
go
had
to
the time
Boston
of
and
my
enjoy
life.
yourself.
I've had the time of my life.
That means a lot.
Absolutely.
I have too.
This is great.
This has been
Yeah.
such a fantastic episode.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for coming down here
Absolutely.
and doing this and being a good sport. And
Sure, bro.
really appreciate. Even talk about Fly Young Gentlemen.
Yes, dog. Thank you for being. Also, thank you for a really great interview as well. Like,
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I knew you weren't gonna come with like, what's your favorite color? But like, yeah, it's like this was great.
I'm very glad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Which,
is-
by the way, the drip. I gotta say, the shirt.
Thank you. Also, I was gonna say he's one of my icons, like since
Yeah.
growing up. So yeah, this album means a lot to me. I've never worn tie dye. I look pretty fucking good.
We had Turntable Teachers exclusive. He's
I'm just
never
gonna say, I
worn
look pretty
tie dye.
fucking good in tie dye. So it's a new era. It's a
Well,
new chapter.
well,
Mari wears tie dye.
Mario wears tie dye, and you like EDM, and that kind of all fits. It's like you got the psychedelic sort
I
of
love
thing.
shrooms. Like, yeah,
me too, man.
Come on, man.
Me too. We could have had a whole podcast about that. I know you talked about shrooms quite a bit on that album.
That's another time. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Well, I resigned from my job, so I don't need to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, let's go.
The school called me up going, what are you talking on podcasts?
Next
talking
time,
about
let's
shrooms?"
eat a bunch of shrooms and see how this goes.
Honestly, not the worst idea.
I'm here for it.
I've heard worse ideas.
Yeah.
I'm here for it too. let's
cool with
let's do it.
Hell yeah. I appreciate
Mari,
you, brother.
bro.
Dude, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
incredible.
Thank
This
you.
was awesome.
You as well. You as well.
Yeah.
It means a
Turntable
lot.
teachers, man. Tap in if you don't know. If you don't know, come on, man. Come on, man.
not a lot of people.
Be there. Be a square, son. Come on.
And Mari, if you haven't listened to 99 Neighbors or
Oh, yeah.
specifically Mari, you're kind of sleeping a little bit too much.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you tap in. Plenty of stuff linked in the description for you guys, but I want to give Mari the floor here to, shout out whoever you want to shout out. Let the people know where they can find you.
Ooh.
This camera, whichever,
Shout out my mom. Shout my yaya. Shout my brother Max. Yeah, shout out the fam. And yeah, you can find me everywhere. I'm Mari 99 Neighbors, MAARI 99 NBRS everywhere. Dropping a fuckload of music this year. So yeah, just dropped the album on April 24th. Yeah, wow. April 24th. And
Time flies.
yeah, man, got a lot of music coming out, man. A lot of like, yeah, I'm not even gonna get too deep, man. Just trust. Yeah. But everything's good. Life is good. We're good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, if you're a fan of Maari or 99 Neighbors, just being introduced to us for the first time, you can follow us at Turntable Teachers on Instagram, TikTok. Hit up our website, turntableteachers.com, for all the latest blogs, podcast episodes, merch, you already know. And if you are a podcaster, content creator, musician of any kind, please make sure you reach out to us at aoastudios.org to book your session or service today. We offer a plethora of services in the North Shore, Massachusetts area. So if you are in the area, tap in with us. As always, Maari, thank you so much for this. It's been a pleasure.
Of course, man.
I've
had an amazing time.
Me too.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's Maari of 99 Neighbors. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is officially dismissed.
Turn.